It has been 3 days since he'd been crowned with thorns and mocked as the King of the Jews. 3 days since they nailed him to the cross, pronounced him dead, and placed him in a tomb, confused as being some blasphemous lunatic condemned to death, beaten and bruised. He carried the cross to that Calvary hill where he would be crucified and killed like a criminal for a people who didn't even love him back, yet he left heaven to take our sinful load on his back as if he was guilty. Imagine hearing the bones and cartilage in your wrists and feet respond with every swing of the hammer, and the pain that your body felt each time you would breathe, with religious leaders spectating and challenging your divinity, or being abandoned by your own disciples who are in hiding because their fear has made them cowards. And all of this took place not because of your own transgressions, but those of the ones who nailed you to this tree, the offspring. Adam and Eve taught how to rebel, and because they failed, you find yourself here in this moment to set these ungrateful captives free. Oh, what a tragedy. How the promised Messiah was expected to restore the kingdom of Israel, but instead he is stretched between two criminals, seemingly at the mercy of man's enemy, death. He let out a loud cry, hung his head, and gave up the ghost. All hope seemed to be lost. But then the news came by two women who went to the tomb only to find that the stone had been rolled away and Jesus was nowhere to be found, because he had risen as he said. My friends, it's then when the world was put on notice that Jesus wasn't just the son of a man, but he was the son in whom God was well pleased, the all-sufficient Lamb who God would use to reverse the curse of sin and decay. The resurrection was the power of God on full display, proving that only he who created life can resurrect it and remove the sting of death and gain the victory over the grave. And by the Son's laying down and rising up, we have been justified, found innocent in the court of heaven, executing a crushing defeat for the accuser of the brethren. That empty tomb testifies that death has died. Some hear of death and think of the reaper, but I think of the one who stood face to face with death, told it to bow, and it obliged. And now, because of faith, those who believe they too will one day rise. So now, when they tell me that death is irreversible, I ask them, what is death in the face of resurrection? Better question, is there anything too hard for my God? Now I ask you, have you taken time to gaze upon this beautiful sun's rise? Or have your eyes believed the lie that such morning glory is a mirage? And before you label this as nothing more than a worthless church tradition or some sort of supernatural superstition, remember, his appearance was verified. So happy Easter. No, scratch that. Happy Resurrection Sunday. Let's celebrate the one who has made us free. For Christ has risen. He has risen indeed.